The last year and a half has been a challenging one to say the least. A global pandemic, the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, Israeli-Palestinian conflict, football almost coming home but not quite, and in the process revealing a racist underbelly of the society in which we live in. Whoa, that's a whole lot, right? Yeah, I know. Core Educational Trust created Core Lot, Leaders of Tomorrow, in response to the social and political issues going on in our world, as a way for the students to autonomize their emotions and feelings and directly channel it into being a change in the society that they wish to see. Therefore, being a leader of tomorrow, with me, Fela Lufadeju, actor and mentor, at the helm of it. Today, I have with me Bushra. How are you, Bushra?
I'm good, thank you.
How's everything?
Everything's great.
Yeah?
I finished my exams,
the mocks?
Yeah, my mock exams. I think I did great.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. So I've been working with you since September, and I remember some of the first conversations that we had. You know, you seem to me to be a very direct person. You have quite, I know this process for a lot of people has been like trying to find the leader within. I think you came to this process already having a voice. Would you agree?
Yeah, I just feel like initially, I think you might remember, when I got asked, what's the lead in you, do you know? I didn't know, there was just nothing there when I thought of it. But now, with help of my friends and my family and stuff, I did, yeah, I know it's just speak for what's right, I guess.
Well, you see, it's funny that you should say that, you know. I think when we often think of a leader, we have a particular view in our mind. And what this process has kind of unveiled is a leader looks different depending on what, you get what I mean, through your lens. Because I think you came to this process already having a unique voice. And how did you garner that voice? Because I remember you, within the first 5 minutes, we felt comfortable enough to talk about some issues, social-political issues, you know, Islamophobia, all of these topics just started popping up. And I was like, oh, wow, you're so expressive already. So how did you garner all of that voice?
I just think I'm very opinionated, and when I think something is right, there's no two ways to go about it. So yeah, I just told you how I feel about everything that is going on, especially around that time. There was the George Floyd and all of these attacks that were going on.
Yeah.
So it was something that felt really close.
Close to your heart. Talk to me about what it was like around that time, because I remember we had how I came to being involved in this project was through the Leaders of Tomorrow, when we were having the talks initially, and I did a talk about what it's like my entire life, and I was talking about how I autonomized some of those adversities that I'd faced to be able to articulate myself in certain situations. So how were you feeling in that time frame when the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement was going on?
At first, I was nervous, of course, before the team call, I was nervous because, we were in lockdown and we were at home, and I was in my house, nowhere else. For quite a long time. So it's I lost a lot of social contact. But then after that, when you started talking about your experience, I was yeah, I go through that. I'm still going to school and I'm going through the similar things that you were speaking about. And even then, there was I had quite a lot of questions to ask, but I couldn't really ask them.
Yeah.
I
remember you saying that because obviously there were quite a lot of students on the call, and we were trying to rotate all the different questions. But I remember having a discussion with you in which I was oh, I'm so sorry that you didn't necessarily get to express all the questions that you wanted, but here's an avenue in which we can, you know, talk about all those. And out came those questions, yeah. Beautifully, like a tap. You know, this really wonderfully expressive quality in which you have. To talk to us about some of your interests. What are I know you also involved in the drama society, right?
Yeah. Well, in drama, we're just doing DNA and stuff, but my hobbies.
Yeah, go on.
I bake and I do my makeup and stuff. That's about it, to be honest.
About it?
Yeah.
Don't diminish those hobbies. You bake. What kind of things do you bake?
Just cookies. Yeah, just cookies.
What kind of cookies? Chocolate chip, raisin, oat?
Just chocolate. Just Kinder. Sometimes Kinder, the little kids ones.
Yeah.
And just really nice chocolate ones, I guess.
I have to try some of your cookies at some point because I didn't know you baked. You were also involved in the Eco Eternal project, I remember, you know, in some of the planning for many different things that happened. You know, the Horizons Festival that happened, and you were involved in the planning for Culture Day as well. So what was that process like?
It all happened so fast. Like 1 minute we were just talking about, one minute my friend Faiza introduced me to Echo Eternal, and then I was just like contemplating whether to do it or not. And then as soon as I joined, then we're organising Culture Appreciation Day, and we're doing all these Echo Eternals. But it's really sad because we didn't really get to do anything really because of like COVID and how that's just like been a big obstacle.
Yeah, we missed the social like interaction. But for considering, you know, all the COVID measures, what you guys managed to do was incredible. Yeah, you know, that's the first time that in any school that I know that's been done, you know, in which you came to school in your cultural attire. Beautiful. And you had the, what was it called again? In my culture, we call it geli. What did you call it yours?
Call it a shash.
A shash.
Shasho, yeah. Shasho.
Shasho. Oh, it's wonderful. Did I say it wrong?
No, you said it wrong.
Oh, fantastic. I know that you've got a video for us as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that.
Hi everybody, I'm Bushra, and as you know, in today's society, being an opinionated individual may drive a lot of people crazy. But my goal is to give my peers a voice and a reason to stand up against all of the injustices that are happening today. I am nothing without my voice, and speaking out against these injustices is my sole purpose in life. That is the leader in me. It took me a long time and a lot of thinking to find out who is this leader inside of me, and I finally found it, and I feel at peace. To embrace God's gift of a voice and a brain, and to educate the misled people in my community. Will you be a part of the problem, or would you be a part of the movement for change? Are you here to join in with the stereotypes, or are you motivated to fight for what is right and open-mindedly advocate for the truth? Are you ready to find the leader in you and advocate for the truth?
Wow. Are you ready to find the leader within you and advocate for the truth? Well, you seem like you are. You know, you're an incredibly political person and clearly has a lot of opinions about the society and moving our society forward. And that's very clear. I also know that you have a speech for us here today. Yeah? So if we can hear that, fantastic.
What is the difference between culture and religion? We all have our different faiths and beliefs, but we all have our cultures too. Well, lucky for us today is the day that you and I will go on a journey to understand what the two topics are. To be able to differentiate the two, we need to know what they mean. So what is culture? What is religion? How do they relate, and how do they influence our day-to-day lives? What is culture? Culture is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people, anything from language and cuisine to social behaviour and religion. The best way to understand is imagine walking down your home country, in my case Somalia, and I see all these historic buildings, the beaches, the restaurants, the food, and I just sit for a minute to take it all in, and I say, this is my culture. This is beautiful Somali culture. The same works for every single culture globally. Every country has its own culture, and sometimes in that one country you'll find more than one culture or a difference in cultural practices. You might even find different languages or dialects. This is a common occurrence between the north side and the south side of a country. For example, in India there is 1.39 billion people with 22 official languages and a total of 1,652 other languages spoken in India, and that's just the languages. The cultures must differ too, right? Which leads us to the next question. What is religion? Religion is a belief system that a group of people follow. It's an organized set of beliefs, rules, worldviews, and rituals carried out by this particular group. Most religions have a higher power, a god, or deity that they worship. They also have their own written traditions or scriptures or even a holy book, such as the Quran, the Bible, or Torah, and every religion has a leader, like Islam has Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and Christianity has Jesus Christ. Religion dictates what we wear, what we eat, marriage, etc., and it's why we have purpose in our lives. Without religion, I would lose myself. It's how we were created and what will happen to us when we're gone. Religion is such a personal and intimate aspect of my life, and many more other people too. For those of you who are still confused, imagine a Muslim family in the US, in the UK, in Asia and in Oceania. Although they share the same religion, they have different cultural practices too. They listen to different music, they wear different clothes and follow the religion differently. The religion influences the culture and the culture influences how you follow your religion. Religion is the way of life and culture is the way of living. There are two terms not to be interchanged. So what is the problem with confusing the two? The problem stems from the fact that people love to stereotype an entire group of people based on something that applies to just a small fraction of those people. There's just too much blanket statement used that feels innocent but actually causes so much damage. Stereotyping is a bad habit we collectively are guilty of using and we need to stop. Now, do you know the difference between culture and religion, and are you willing to be a part of the change to eradicate these views?
Well done, Bushra. Fantastic. Incredible speech. Really bringing to us the difference between culture and religion. So talk to us about how you came about writing that speech.
A lot of the times, like when I'm out and everything, everyone just thinks like just wrong things because I'm Muslim and I wear the hijab, and it's just like I always see like the judgy looks I get and the fact that people just are stereotyping me and I'm nowhere near what they stereotype me like. So that's what I just came to, because that's something that I know 100% how it feels because I go through it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose it.
And I know that you said in an earlier draft of the speech, you mentioned something about influencing the next generation. You know, talk to us about more of what, I mean, you took it out, but why you mentioned that, because it seems like quite a cornerstone as to what instigated the initial writing of that speech.
I have like a lot of nieces and I have like a little sister too, and I wouldn't want them to grow up thinking that they don't belong because of their religion or they don't belong because of their way of life. And I feel like if we were educated, or like people chose to be educated enough, then this wouldn't be happening, and like people wouldn't be called terrorists and all of these things, because terrorists aren't just Muslim people, they're like everyone. So that's why, like.
Yeah, absolutely. This particular view that the world has, the imagery that the world has of terrorism and its tied to a specific viewpoint, and it's like, oh, actually, no, there's a whole lot of terrorism going on in other aspects of it, in other demographics, but when it's this one, you tie it together and it's stereotyping that view. So it's really brave of you to kind of bring that to the forefront. You also talk about culture and your beautiful Somali culture. So tell us more about your culture. Like, how do you say hello in Somali?
You just say Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, because it's Arabic. Maybe that's my ignorance coming into play. But they talk to us about Somali culture and what Somali actually, the integration of Somali and British culture. You know, what's that like?
It's like they're very like contrasting, like British culture and Somali culture. But I don't really wear like my cultural clothes like out. But there's like the bati, and that's like it's just like fabric that's just like long. It's just one, and it's in different kind of designs and stuff, and that's just like homeware. You can even wear it out. And then there's the dira, and you probably see like on the Twitter page for Rockwood me wearing that. That's the dira, and that's mostly worn to like weddings and stuff.
I see.
And like the food as well.
And that's the one that has the.
That's called Hidiyat Taqad. My mum did that for me.
Oh yeah, it looks stunning.
Thank you.
It's like a crown. I loved it. It's wonderful. So if you can evaluate what core law, I know earlier on you said, it's find the leader within, but a different aspect as to what the experience of core law has been like for you.
It's been like a roller coaster. Like a lot of at first I was like very I was very into it. I was like, oh, this is exciting. But then after like a while, I did start to doubt it and start like not wanting to do it anymore. Then like when Pfizer was telling me, you should do it. Like,
no, why didn't you want to do it anymore?
I just felt like I don't know. I just had like a fear that when I would write things down or say things, it would be said to me like, you can't say that because it's too political, or you can't say these certain things because it's not something the school stands with. And it's just things like that I just have constant like fear of it. Like it's not something that I want to be a part of.
Yeah. Something that when you're chastised for your viewpoints or your opinions on things. But I hope I expressed to you through the communications that we've had that, you know, like, it's always like to get it out, you know? So like, I always say, you know, some people have like transphobic thoughts, or they say, like, some people just, if those thoughts are repressed in society, then we never hear them to be able to correct people about it and just be like, and express and have this dialogue with people. Like, sometimes people say random things about Nigerians, or, you know, stereotyping Nigerian people as 419. And if I hear that, then I can be like, oh, why do you view that? Where does that come from? And challenge that. And then there's been so many good conversations I've had over the years in which people have expressed their views on this, or on the country in particular that I come from, and I can have a dialogue with them and be like, really educate them, you know? Everybody is somewhat fearful of speaking at points because they think that, oh, if I say something, but they go home and they have the kitchen table talk, as Wendy Williams would say, about it. So it's like, no, speak and I can inform you, you know, like, no, that's wrong, and so on and so forth. So what does the future look like for you? How do you feel about moving on into year 11?
I'm scared, I guess.
Why are you scared?
Because it's like your GCSEs, like, I know I have like a lot of studying ahead of me, and I'll probably even have to start as soon as school closes because of like COVID and everything. I don't have, like, the people like my year, we don't really have the same education we would have had if COVID wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it's slightly different, you know, and then it's navigating. I know that this year with the year 11s, they had to navigate a different kind of schedule to be able to catch up with things. And it's making sure you keep on top of that as you go into your year 11, you know, to be able to get the optimum kind of experience as possible, to be able to reach your full potential, for sure, which I know, undoubtedly, I know you will. Thank you so much again for being on this process with me over the last year or so. I know it's been a challenging one. We know we've gone through live interactions, face-to-face, to Teams, and all of the challenges in which Teams brings to back to face-to-face, and then here today. So it's been a ride, but a one I hope you've enjoyed, because I know that I have. As you can see, Bushra is an incredible, opinionated and insightful young woman with such beautiful, beautiful views, you know, bringing to today this idea of culture and religion, you know, really differentiating the two and how they influence one another. She's part of a greater project in which other students share with us their opinions, their views, and how they see themselves as the leader of tomorrow. Be sure to check them out. Thank you.